The ship that refused to die. The legend of the SS Baychimo. Imagine standing on the frozen edge of the Arctic Circle in 1931. The wind is howling at 50 miles per hour, and the ice is closing in like a giant white trap. You look out at a massive 1,300-ton steel steamship abandoned by its crew and presumed lost to the crushing depths of the ocean. Now imagine that same ship appearing again and again and again for the next 38 years. No crew, no fuel, and no captain. This isn't a ghost story. This is the true history of the SS Baychimo, the ship that simply refused to die. The SS Baychimo was not built for mystery, it was built for business. Launched in 1914, this steel-hulled giant was a workhorse for the Hudson's Bay Company. Its mission was critical to the early economy of Canada and the northern United States. It traded food and supplies for expensive pelts and furs with the Inuit communities across the treacherous Northwest Passage. For 9 years, the Baychimo was a legend of reliability. But in October 1931, the Arctic decided it had had enough. The ship was on its way back to Vancouver, loaded with a fortune in furs, when a massive, unexpected blizzard struck. Within hours, the ocean began to freeze solid. Huge plates of pack ice surrounded the hull, squeezing the steel until it groaned. The Baychimo was stuck. The crew, led by Captain John Cornwell, had no choice. They evacuated and built a temporary wooden shelter on the ice just half a mile from their ship, hoping a spring thaw would set them free. But the Arctic is never predictable. On the night of November 24th, a terrifying storm hit. The visibility dropped to 0. When the crew woke up the next morning, they looked out at the horizon and gasped. The SS Baychimo was gone. Captain Cornwell assumed the ship had been crushed by the ice and dragged to the bottom of the Beaufort Sea. They gathered what they could and prepared to leave. But just a few days later, an Inuit hunter approached their camp with an unbelievable report. He had seen the ship. It wasn't at the bottom of the ocean. It was floating 45 miles away, perfectly upright and seemingly unharmed. The crew managed to track it down, but the captain realized the hull was too damaged to risk a journey back to Vancouver. They salvaged the most valuable furs and left the Baychimo to its fate, certain that the winter storms would eventually sink it. They were wrong. Over the next several months, the ghost ship was spotted by explorers and traders drifting aimlessly through the ice. In 1932, a dog sledder saw it near Wainwright, Alaska. In 1933, a group of stranded travelers actually boarded the ship to take shelter from a storm, only to find the interior eerily silent but intact. The most amazing part of the Baychimo's backstory is its resilience. For decades, the ship became a legend among Alaskans and Canadians. People tried to catch it, but every time they got close, the ice would shift or a fog would roll in, and the Baychimo would vanish back into the white wilderness. In 1939, it was boarded again by a captain who wanted to salvage it, but the ice floes were so aggressive he had to flee for his life. During World War II, as American and Canadian soldiers patrolled the northern coasts, reports of a mysterious gray silhouette drifting in the distance became common. The Baychimo survived the freezing winters of the 40s, the 50s, and even the 60s. The last confirmed sighting was in 1969, 38 years after it was abandoned. It was found stuck in an ice pack off the coast of Barrow, Alaska. By then, the ship was a rusted, frozen monument to survival. When explorers returned with a plane to find it a few weeks later, the ship had disappeared once more. To this day, the SS Baychimo has never been found. No wreckage has ever washed ashore. No underwater drone has ever captured its hull on the seabed. For nearly 40 years, it traveled thousands of miles across the most dangerous waters on Earth without a single human soul on board. It remains the ultimate backstory of the North, a reminder that even in our modern world, there are some things the Arctic refuses to give back. The SS Baychimo isn't just a ship, it is a ghost of the ice, still drifting, perhaps, in the silent, frozen dark of the world's edge.